Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, guys. How you doing? We're back. This is the last episode of the year. It's been a incredible, life changing type of year because I got a new job. I started this very, trying to focus on our platform a lot, and we're learning a lot of things. I finally bought the DaVinci Resolve the editing software. Like I finally bought it. They have like a free version, but with this new 18.1.1 update, I couldn't render any of the videos. So I said, screw it. I'm not gonna wait for another update. I need to upload videos and get those out of the way and finish off the year right. So I bought it and here we are. So you're going to see a lot of more posts right before the year ends, hopefully, because I'm going to be away for at least 2 weeks, so I won't be back till like January.
Oh
But
yeah,
other than that, yeah, a lot of
anything
movies
to get
dropped
away
this
from the
year.
city.
Yeah, I need that. Like I think that's what I need to like get a little more inspiration. I
Mm.
need to get out of this busy city for a minute and just come back later, and get a fresh air, get breath of fresh air. So a lot of movies came out this year, and a movie that just came out, I think, 2 days ago, was Avatar, the second
Yeah,
Avatar after 13 years,
was it 13 years? It came out in 20.
2010.
I think so. Yeah,
So around 13 years, 10, 12 years. And I've been hearing a lot of good things about it. So that's really good to know. I heard
yeah,
that there's a lot of like beautiful moments and you're gonna cry, and it was just perfect apparently for a lot of people. If you are movie lover, movie goer, so I'll probably catch it hopefully in Texas, not here because I'm not gonna be here. We also got a lot of DC news that are pissing a lot of fans off, but I kind of saw this coming because with the new DC, the head of the DC studios, you're going to get a lot of changes that you're not going to like, and we got that in the beginning when Discovery now owned DC, or part of Warner Brothers, and now they have two new heads for DC Studios, James Gunn and Peter Safran.
yeah.
So now the biggest news was, well, one of the biggest news was that they canceled Wonder Woman 3. That they're going to give a lot of more, they might expand Robert Pattinson's Batman a little bit, and they are going ahead of schedule to do Batman 2. Um and that Henry Cavill is no longer going to play Superman in the DC universe. Um and yeah, I mean it's sad news because after the October surprise, Black Adam, we got that little snippet of Henry Cavill returning to the role, and then all of a sudden we get hit with this right before Christmas. So I think it's huge, but they want to remake the DC universe and they want to redo it and they want to make a whole cinematic universe again, especially
I mean,
since
I could definitely understand that because it would.
I
I
mean
felt
many
like
of
it's
us
been
were
a.
saying it needs a reboot, you know.
Yeah, I know, and they kept just dragging the Snyderverse like through and through, trying to see to you pretty much flesh it out to see if it keeps on going. But I mean, it Black Adam didn't get good reviews, and with these two producers, James Gunn and Peter Safran coming in, that things were going to change. My question is he going to keep on with Peacemaker?
That's true.
And yeah, there's been a lot of interesting news popping out. But the funny thing is for Henry Cavill, when a door closes, another one opens. Because when he was fired from the first time, he got Witcher. Then he lost Witcher. He thought he got Superman again in October, and then just now they saying that he's gonna work with Amazon Prime to do the Warhammer 5000, 2000. I forgot the name of it, but it's the Warhammer series, which he's going to be part
What
of.
is that about? Like, what is that universe? So-
It's pretty much like it's based on the same people who did the whole I think World of Warcraft. It's very like that,
Oh,
yeah. Guys, he's a big fan of it because
right.
he like paints miniatures of Warhammer, and he does all these things. He has like in his Henry Cavill says he has in his house. He paints little miniatures. He creates little like buildings and architecture for the thing. So he's a big fan of it. He's
Oh,
a
okay.
nerd.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
he's
yeah. True. Well, anyways, with that being said, we wanted to talk about two movies today. It's gonna probably be a long podcast, but I think it's important because, I mean, leaving DC like this and having bad reviews on Black Adam, and not that much talk on the Green Lantern movie, the animated movie with Jon Stewart. I think we should talk about it. I haven't seen anyone really talk about that movie since, animated movies. I think for a lot of people are kind of like not spoken as much as they should be because, well, they go straight to DVD. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I guess they lose. I don't know. I feel like it has been
The attention, you know?
the attention because of the films,
Yeah.
and a lot. There's a lot of good movies that get kind of not swept under the rug per se. It's just they don't really talk about it as much.
Yeah. So, with that being said, let's talk about Black Adam. Now, going into this movie, I was not expecting anything, but I was shocked when he made his entrance. I know you have a lot of things to say after watching Black Adam on HBO. Now that's on HBO now. Uh,
Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
no, you could start. It's okay.
Okay,
You're
it
gonna have to refresh my
didn't.
memory. It's been a while.
Yeah, pretty much it just starts with we get a lot of backstory from his. You know, the funny thing is that they hide some of the backstory, so they won't. So the secret that's hidden it's in the film. So they kind of like stretch the history out throughout the entire film, while you're getting what's happening in the present moment. Um, I felt that you know, I don't really want to give a synopsis of the whole thing. I'm pretty sure people has watched it, and with it being on HBO Max, is people have probably watched it. Then I think that there was a lot of things that should have been brought out, like the Justice Society should have given in a little bit more backstory for the fact that they exist, and they exist in when the Justice League were out. You can't, there was a team that already existed before the Justice League, and it was already there, and that needs to be that should have been fleshed out. The fact there was a team before the Justice League was ever formed. Um, what also fact that they have I enjoyed the fact that they brought Amanda Waller into the mix. Um, and here's my thing. It felt like how at the end of it, like how Wonder Woman 1984 felt. Like it didn't have like I wouldn't sit down and see it again. I would probably see it again if I want to like to analyze the movie and see certain things to see in a different perspective. But there was really nothing to flesh out. They try to write a good script. I think it was, they try to keep things hidden, keep things interesting. Um, from the actors, I felt that it was kind of weird to have Henry Winkler come out of nowhere as being the original Atom Smasher and not really flesh that out besides little small talks from the nephew. Um, Cyclone's abilities were really cool. Like I love the effects from her. The way she just kind of moved around with the colors and the wind was moving. Um Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate, best I think my favorite performance in the film. I think he did great. Um the history of Dr. Fate was kind of like obscure there because I'm pretty sure that mask would not have disappeared. It's a very powerful item in the DC universe that it doesn't get destroyed. Um, and as for Aldis Hodge, I felt like he got smacked around a lot. We spoke about this through text. I felt like he always gotten hit by something, and and I don't feel like he wasn't the Hawkeye that I remember from like the comics. I feel like
Hawkman.
they yeah, Hawkman. Wow. Hawkman. Yeah, it's like he tried to play it too it's like I don't know, there was something like too like rugged and like, like, we'll settle this and we'll you should like there was a certain acting choice that he chose for the character that didn't fit the Hawkman persona.
I think his performance was different than what we got from other Hawkman
Yeah,
performances. It was more of like he was the leader, he's been through this. I think he already did his reincarnation, so he's gonna well, I don't know about that. I don't even know about Hawkgirl. Like I don't think he mentioned her or something like that.
yeah. There was no mentioned. There was not a lot of history being brought out. It was mostly about
Yeah.
Black Adam.
Yeah. I liked his weapon, the way that it could change, I think.
Yeah,
That was awesome. I did like his wings, though his helmet was hilarious to look at because it was just so like pointy. His freaking
yeah, yeah,
it was a different Hawkman. He was more of a leader. He was more he was a very big morale booster though. And even though he got knocked out a couple times in this goddamn he got fucking rolled, bro. He got smacked around everywhere, but he
yeah,
kept getting back up. And that's what I kind of
yeah.
liked. I was like, "All right, we don't really I don't know in other animated series. I don't know if we got that. No, we did get that in Smallville because I think he did like I think he was fighting. Who was he fighting?
Oh yeah, when they brought the Justice Society there.
Yeah. But he was fighting. Was he in that episode when Clark goes to Earth 3 and then what's his name comes out the guy.
Brainiac.
No, not Brainiac. When he switches places from his alternate self from the other universe, what's his name? Ultraman? Was he there when he was fighting him?
Oh, I
I don't think
don't
so,
remember.
right?
Man, I
I don't
really
remember.
gotta watch Smallville again.
I don't know. But they really do try to push Hawkman to be like a leader
Yeah,
or a person that never gives up, and I kind of see that. I saw this in this movie. You know, that's one
yeah,
of the things I did like, which was he always got back up and started to fight again. You know, and
yeah,
he also did try to talk to Adam a couple times before he fought. I think, and then after that they talked where his throne was. You know.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, there's a lot of things about a bad movie that you remember, but you try to remember the good parts. And I think the only good part within this movie was, well, there was a few characters. Hawkman, ended up liking in the end of the movie. I didn't like him in the beginning because
yeah,
I was like, where the hell are they going with this guy? But then I
yeah,
understood where they were going. And then just Black Adam's entrance within the movie. There were a couple CGI moments in the end where I think we'll talk about later, but I was like, oh, it's a little iffy. Also, how he
yeah,
kills the villain at the end was just like, wow, really?
yeah.
I want to see epic fight. Yes, Pierce Brosnan did amazing. I think that was a great performance for a Doctor Strange, especially how he
Doctor
was
Fate.
a Doctor Fate. I'm sorry. Well, compared to Doctor Strange, I mean, like
Yeah,
his power is is godly, basically. You
yeah,
know. Cyclone. Okay, here's the thing about Cyclone, right? That's the girl. In the beginning of the movie, when they're introducing these characters, he says she's the smartest person, she has a high IQ. Nothing in the movie gives us that.
Yeah.
There's nothing that kind of like shows or displays her intelligence. Nowhere.
Yeah.
What the what is the point of talking or pointing that out within a movie if you're not going to
Yeah.
show it? Adam Smasher, I love Henry Winkler. I really do, especially after watching was it called Barry on HBO? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I
I
love it.
seen some of it.
Oh, you've seen some of it. You gotta finish it. I don't know if they
Yeah.
came out with season 3 yet, to be honest with you. But one of the bad guys, Zaz, that was in Gotham, is in that movie. He's
Yeah.
hilarious, by the way, in that freaking show. I mean, not yeah, show. Um, but Adam Smasher, I didn't really like. He was just there, you know.
Yeah. He. I think he was just trying to. It was almost like he was trying to be the comedy, but there was not a lot of it, or what they were trying to do with it.
It just didn't.
The funny,
Yeah.
watching this and hearing that when they wrote the script, The Rock wanted to make sure that the script was good and fleshed out, you know. But I felt that there was a lot more action in it and less of the story that from the other characters. You can't bring the Justice Society and expect us to know like, oh, they've always been there and the little mentions of it, you know, is okay. It's like getting a Justice League 2 movie and not know and think we saw Justice League 1. You know, like it'd be like, who the hell are these characters and what happened and why are they mentioning things? It's like as if they've always been around. Because Amanda Waller, who's been in the films since the first Suicide Squad, she already has background story. We already got a lot from her. So her popping up to ask Hawkman, hey, we need you to help us out with this. Something's going on in Kahndaq. We need this guy, you know, and it's like, oh, so there is story. Obviously, Amanda Waller knows who they are. They've been around. Why haven't we heard of them? Like they should have been a brief history. Even in Watchmen, we were able to get the brief history at the beginning of the film of what was happening as the credits were going. Who was getting killed? The two women that got slaughtered in the house. You know, the guy that got caught in the cape with the revolving door. We got brief history there of those characters because we didn't need to get them what was in between when was happening in the actual story. But here is almost like I don't know what's going. I don't know who these characters are. The reason we know is because we read comics and we see the cartoons and all these things. But if you brought them out, we'll be like, who are these people?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. It's kind of like, you know, I thought this movie took place more like in the 80s or maybe 90s. Early 90s would have been fine. Because you get the Justice Society, and then you're like, okay, well they're retro, right? That's fine. But given that they're in like current times, especially after just watching the Justice League, whatever movie that they wanna keep in continuity, yeah, they're just acting like they've been there, but we never really thought they've been there. I thought they were old, all that stuff.
Yeah,
So that kind of was annoying to see. Like, okay, so you kind of have to explain it. If you're a comic book reader, you have to explain it. Yeah, I guess they've been there for the whole time, but they're old heroes, so and so. Yeah, I really thought that they were going to focus. I mean, yes, it is his movie, but like I would agree with you. They didn't really care about the heroes like that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. They didn't put a lot of story within the heroes. It was they just like they're there. We're getting Black Adam storyline and everything, but they're just there to like to stop Black Adam. Um, what else? There was some other stuff too. Like I felt it was like it kind of felt like it ended twice. Like all of a sudden they're like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know, like
it's
Black Adam got arrested. He said, "I would never call that name again." And then they give him to the to task force and to Amanda Waller. They tie him up, and that's the first ending. Then all of a sudden, the main bad guy comes in, the final boss, and then we get the second ending when he comes back out of there. And I was like, I kind of wish they didn't do that. I kind of wish he was you know, being resurrected with the with the crown, like when he was already, like he was out and he wasn't sent. It felt kind of stupid. Like it's like, oh, so you mean to tell me that they're gonna imprison him and he has to come back out
I mean, on
to
top
take
of
it?
that, like instead of getting him, why didn't you get, you know, Captain Marvel, Shazam to come through? He's a hero. If you guys are existing within that universe, in that Earth, why don't you? Yeah, again, I mean, the plot just in my head, it is Kahndaq and all that stuff, but I don't know. I don't know. That's where I was thinking about in the movie. Like, okay, so we're not gonna get Shazam in this movie. He's probably gonna pop up at the end credit scene, but now we don't know if that's actually gonna happen because they want to reboot this universe. I don't know what the hell they want to do now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a bit strange because right now Shazam is definitely going to come out. Flash is definitely going to come out, and they took out the Wonder Woman cameo and Superman cameo out of
I
Flash.
heard that they took out the Batman cameo too.
That's going to be a little difficult to remove,
Not the
especially when it's
not
supposed to be.
not Michael Keaton. I'm talking about Ben Affleck.
Oh, Ben Affleck. Oh, well, this is terrible. I don't know. It, it's a pretty bad way to end it. But I understand that they have to. They're already made and they need to be put out there. So they're gonna come out, even though how obscure the whole DC universe is gonna look. But it's like it's gonna have to end.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, that's kind of how the cartoons were too. Because when they ended up starting the whole new 52 universe within the cartoon system, I think it was the apocalypse was it the apocalypse war or whatever that story was.
Yeah, Apocalypse War. Yeah,
Yeah, that sort of ended that entire universe because Flash leaves and then sort of starts a new paradox.
New Paradox. Yeah,
Which makes sense because now we're starting a new
or
sort of
Rebirth, or
kind
basically.
of a
Yeah,
rebirth,
yeah, yeah.
because we get into Batman, Jensen Ackles, Aldis Hodge is playing John Stewart here. We're getting a different Green Arrow, we're getting a different types of Justice League. So, but yeah, that's the thing about it. It's like it left a strange kind of taste in my mouth for Black Adam at the end. Like it was like that was it. This is what we got. And it's sad to say that we're never going to see Henry Cavill again, even though it ended with him sort of, you know, being
I
a
enjoyed that. I honestly, for a second though, I'm pretty sure you've seen like screenshots or whatever. But when he appears in that dark, like in
yeah,
the cloud thingy, um, by his throne, he kind of looks like John Hamm
yeah,
because of his
and
chiseled jaw, yeah, and the
yeah,
beard, all
and then
that.
and I know you heard the Superman
Oh,
theme
I
song
love
too.
that. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
they
great to
used it.
hear. Yeah, I loved it. I had goosebumps. I had goosebumps. I was happy to see him back, but it's a damn shame. I don't know what else to say about that movie, man. I mean, there was just a lot of things where it just didn't flow right. He's also like, where are we going? I don't care about this kid that much, but I guess I kind of like him better than like the kid from was it Deadpool 3 or Deadpool 2, I mean.
Yeah.
Um the uncle was awesome to see, I guess. That was another character, side character.
Yeah, I felt like there was moments where they could have really. He had this "I don't care" attitude, revenge feel to him, which is understandable because his son got killed. But
Oh,
I
that's it,
think
yeah.
he should have sympathized a little bit more when she was screaming like "Save my son." You know, there was moments where he was hesitant because like I'm no hero, I don't want to do this and that, and it was like this woman's fighting for him, fighting him pretty much to like save my son.
Yeah.
We could fix it, we could do something about this, and then he would go. I felt like the flashes of his son should have came out. I sort of like, you know it, it, it should have been like his motivator, even though it was his motivator then during his time. It was his imprisonment. He doesn't even know. So when he comes back out, it's almost like it was just yesterday. And for the kid to actually tell him that this is what needs to happen, our world is, crap right now. They need a new leader. He's like, no, like he should have sympathized a little bit more with the kid. And then we would have probably gotten more. And then I felt like they tried to make the kid look a little bit like Billy Batson,
A little bit,
with
right?
the
Yeah.
red hoodie. He had the posters of the superheroes and stuff in the background, like all that stuff. He was collecting comic books, and and the whole skateboard thing, it got annoying. It started getting like he just has a trail of people. He's trying to like gather all the people together. He's coming in with a skateboard in slow motion. Then when he's running away from the soldiers out of the building, somehow he's managing to ride around them with a skateboard. That's like, come on, let the go with the skateboard, run like an actual boy, and just like, get through this. And it was just moments where I was like, it was kind of cringy to
Yeah.
me. I was like, I think they should have left certain things out.
Like,
That
ain't no way a skateboard could do all this shit right now, right?
yeah,
Like, yeah, a
it
little
was
bit.
weird to me.
We
Yeah,
we are in a DC world, but still, like, I was just like, God, it was a little, yeah, it was a couple cringy moments. I did. There's a lot of flying in this movie,
yeah.
and I enjoyed it. I will say that they captured flying nicely, like
They
right.
did a lot. Yeah, they did a lot of the flying really good. There was moments where the CGI, it was almost like they stopped using good CGI.
That's true. Yeah.
Once Kahndaq came out, I was like, CGI is awful. Like it's just so you were able to tell from that red and the way like his CGI was pretty bad. It wasn't as good. I felt like the CGI from what was his name, the main villain in Snyder's Justice League, um
Oh, no, Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf, Dark Side, what was the other one, what was his, was it Kahndaq?
No, it's Caldiff,
Yeah,
Caldiff. I know who you're talking about, but Jesus
yeah.
Christ, I
But
forget.
anyway, the thing is that their CGI was pretty good and very good compared to how, yeah,
Calibac,
yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, there was that one moment when it was slow motion at the end, and the guy that's holding, what was it, the crown, he was gonna put
Yeah,
it on or something like that, and then he was slow motion, and you see the rock like CGI, like pure just CGI. I was like, whoa,
yeah, yeah. There was some moments that was like the CGI was pretty cringy. Like
yeah.
they should have really worked on some of it. And I could understand why the critics didn't like it. People saw the film, it made its money, but not enough to keep on going. I don't think. So I guess it is what it is. It's came out, it was made, and it didn't really do as much. But I would like to see these. I would like to see these actors portray characters, though. I would like to see Pierce Brosnan. I wouldn't mind seeing Pierce Brosnan come again as Doctor Fate.
Oh
It would
no,
be good to see him again.
definitely, he was really good. Yeah, 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 definitely,
Yeah,
definitely. I
yeah.
mean, again, this, what do you rate this movie? There was a lot of scenes I wish they could cut.
I think I give it from 1 out of 10. I give it a 6,
Yeah, I'm thinking that too.
like a 6. You know. Like it could have been done better. I think so. It and it's kind of hard to bring out a character who was basically a villain for short was basically a villain, and we didn't really get a lot of Black Adam comic books till like later on, you know. He was just in Shazam. He was usually in the Crisis stories. He was, when he popped up, it was just it was not in his own comic. It was in the
In the background, yeah.
Captain Marvel of the day, Shazam, and
Yeah.
when 52 started kind of bringing him out again and
Yeah.
making him having his own comic book,
Yeah.
which he's now has his own comic book
Right.
now too.
Yeah, I think now, I mean, did Dark Crisis finish, right? Dark Crisis did finish. I don't know. It's been a
One
minute.
more issue
One more
left.
issue? Oh wow.
Yeah,
God damn.
one more issue left.
I
Yeah,
know the Dark Knights of Steel finished.
no, not yet,
Not yet? I thought it
not yet.
finished.
No, it went on hiatus for a bit.
Oh.
It's on a break. It's on a break. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's like I'm pretty sure that if you decided to start doing recordings and voice things to try to do this, you would have at some point you would have had to stop and wait for the next one because
Gotcha.
yeah. So I don't know. Sometimes some of those comic books when it's like a certain like 12 issue series and written by one particular writer or something, it takes a long it goes in hiatus for a bit. Human Target did that.
Yeah, that's
Um
true.
the Batman and Catwoman series, it finished, but it took a while. Um remember look at Doomsday Clock, that took forever. It's like I don't know. It takes a while for them to just to work at it.
Give me a second. Yeah. I guess we should go on to the Green Lantern movie.
Yes.
Since I agree with you on giving Black Adam a 6 out of 10, honestly.
You know
I
what?
forgot to mention so much music that I think was a little bit unnecessary. There was this, what was it? It's when it's almost at the end when he's going to the guy that has a crown, and I think they had the Kanye West Skinhead song,
Yeah,
and then
that
all of
played.
us, yeah, and then it just like ended, and he was doing something. It was just like so abrupt that it kind of like messed up. I don't know, like the editing was kind of like the dawn of justice for a second. There was a couple moments
Yeah,
actually within the movie where the editing was like, what?
yeah. There was some moments that music shouldn't have. I don't know. It's one thing to use music to be part of like to be part of the movie, but I feel like I don't know. Scores are a little bit better. It's a little especially when it's a song that you don't enjoy really well, and then it's going to be in a scene that you're supposed to enjoy, and you're like, the right song for it. Or it's like, use some instrumental. I feel like that's the best thing to do.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, on to the Green Lantern. What's the name of it? Green Lantern.
John Green Lantern John Stewart
No,
was
no, but that's the
pretty.
title.
Yeah, it's very generic.
I didn't. I thought I saw it. I thought I saw it differently. Oops. Okay.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it? No, no spoilers, yeah. No, it's Green
It-
Lantern. Beware my power, guy.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right.
Oh, Jimmy Simpson was Green Arrow.
He was so good.
Oh yeah, yeah,
He
yeah,
was so good,
yeah,
and I loved him in Psych.
yeah, 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 yeah.
When he did that, he always did that run. Person, it's like when he popped up, it was always like these weird things, and he always ate tuna fish. Like he would open it up.
Yeah, yeah.
He made it look so disgusting, and it was just it was. And when he shook hands, it was always like this, like
Stupid. It's so stupid.
yeah. Yeah, no, it was he was great. It was I was hearing his voice and I was like, man, he sounds familiar. But when I checked the actor, I was like, okay, this is not even the actor that was even crossing my mind when I heard him. It was like, but he was really good. Like he reminded me of the Green Arrow from the Justice League cartoons, like
Mm-hmm.
Unlimited and
Mm-hmm.
all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like, I was like, he did a good job. I loved his. I think everybody's voices were perfect. Adam Strange's voice was perfect. Aldis Hodge did a good job. Nolan North doing Green Lantern. Um, uh, all the other actors I can't remember most of like who played Vixen or whatever, but the other ones I kind of remember the most because due to video games and TV shows that we've seen from them. Um,
Keisha
but
Sharp. I don't think I've seen her in anything like that.
yeah, yeah, it'll get to us at some point. We'll hear it again. But I mean, it's they. I felt like they from all the Green Lantern cartoons that I've seen, they made this Green Lantern ring a little bit more tech savvy and more smart than most of the
Yeah,
ring. Because
yeah.
most of the time when they use the ring, it's like they make things. But this one was able to download. It was able to fix ships. It was able to accumulate. Like it was able to do a whole bunch of stuff. And the
I
fact that
mean,
he was
yeah.
doing training with the ring in that way, instead of it being like him fighting with people in order to learn the training and to focus, it had his own manual within the ring, which was genius. It's like it pretty much gave us the idea that it's like Green Lantern didn't just become Green Lantern. There was things to learn about. And the ring itself was able to teach you without having to go to OA and say, you got the ring, you have to stay here and train, which was one of the things that happened in Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern movie. He had to go to OA to train,
Yeah.
and even in the other Green Lanterns, we didn't get much. He already, like, what was it, First Flight? It went from him finding the ring, him going to OA, and
Exactly.
then eventually he already knew how to use it
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
no problems. But here was absolute genius, and I love the way they. It was like at some point I was like, I want this ring. If I'm able to download information into
But
this ring and then put it
yeah.
into like my own
I
construct,
yeah. Give me that. I don't want the freaking Nova helmet. Like, I want the freaking power ring. Like,
yeah,
if I can't do speed, if I can't run as fast as Flash, which by the way I don't want to run. I'd rather get the ring. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And they really made it seem like I mean you if you read his comics, you kind of see like the dialogue of like what the ring can do sometimes,
yeah,
but this really made you think like, okay, I could do a lot with this damn ring. this is
yeah,
this is uh this is the sonic screwdriver
yeah.
that Doctor Who has, just cooler. um
And the fact that it stopped him from even trying to kill.
yeah.
It's sending messages to him and yo, don't do that. Yeah, like
Yeah.
when he was like what was Shaira when he was like literally like nearly crushing her. It was like yeah, pull away the resistance. Don't do that. Like it's just, and I was like, oh man, that's really cool. It's almost like letting you know it's like you're a good guy. This is why the ring you have. This is why you have the ring. You can't do this. And even the emotional moments were pretty deep. Like when all of a sudden John Stewart comes out at the end and he starts shooting at Green Lantern, and you see Green Arrow like literally like stop, like you're hurting my friend, and then he just gets up and he starts showing what's going on.
Yeah.
That was pretty deep.
That was really cool. There was a lot of lore that if you haven't read the comics, I think you would be kind of a little bit lost. I think, but there was a lot of lore that you have to know from Adam Strange. That Shaira was a little bit there, but I mean, if you've seen the animated series, I think you'll
Yeah,
be fine.
yeah,
Who Adam Strange is, the Thanagarians and Adam Strange's people. Like all that stuff was like okay.
Yeah, 'cause I remember that Adam Strange had a short in one of the movies. I don't know which movie it was. That you remember that some of the movies gives you like 2 episodes of shorts
Yeah, yeah,
before the
yeah,
movie starts.
yeah.
And I think Adam Strange had one, and that's how I knew like how the way he looked and everything. I was like, that's Adam Strange. And then with the whole laser and him, it was able to teleport him and stuff like that. And so it was like when I saw it, I was like, I already knew like what's going on with him and stuff, and then getting a little bit more background story about him in the movie.
Yeah.
And it was really cool because they did so well in the relationship between Adam Strange and Shaira. Like they were ready to go kill each other, but then they kind of formed a friendship, and then they started seeing, and you could see how smart he was. Like he was trying to figure out, we need to talk, we need to figure things out. I know what's going on, this, and that. Um, and we got to see the Yellow Lanterns for the first time. His team, you know, it was always Sinestro we were always seeing as yellow, but we got to see like sort of like his team, like he had his own group.
Yeah, yeah, that was
Uh,
actually really cool. Yeah.
yeah.
Surprised. I think I saw his daughter though in the Green Lantern Corps. I think I
Mm.
saw something similar to her. Shar, Shak, I don't remember her goddamn name. I forgot her name. But it was cool to see that they were going a little with Parallax, you know. Well, they actually did,
Yeah.
yeah, Parallax, and then him becoming this old OP character within
Yeah.
the universe, which was really cool, but also a little bit scary. But yeah, I mean, this movie was really good. I think it's underrated. I think it's definitely up there. If you want to rewatch the old Green Lantern movies and then this one, this is really good for a top one. You know, definitely
Yeah.
there.
No, I think all the Green Lanterns were very enjoyable to watch. Emerald Knight,
Except the live
um,
action.
is the light action. Emerald Knight was great. What was the other one? The one that told the stories of different lanterns. Oh, what was the name of it? It was like one of my favorites. I've seen it so many times.
First Flight.
No, First Flight was the first one. Emerald Knights was the one with the anthology. It had series of Green
Yeah,
Lantern
yeah.
stories. And yeah, I think in this one it was really good. Like I think they should keep on with this. They should keep on with the Green Lantern stories. They need to do with owning all the characters. They could definitely do a Blackest Night.
They should do
They
the
could definitely
Blackest
do.
Night. Yeah, especially
Yeah,
after what we just got, they should definitely do that and definitely bring in Kyle Rayner. You know, slowly start
yeah,
forming this universe as what the comics were intended. Well, are already have, but build the universe right before pre New 52. You know what I'm
yeah,
talking about, and have those
yeah.
stories flesh out.
The only thing I didn't like. I didn't want it Hal Jordan to die. I
They
wanted
always come back though in movies. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Well, yeah. Also, that's true because what was it? In the comic books, it was his town was destroyed. He went to the Guardians to help him out in the situation. They didn't want to help him out. He went ape and decided to start freaking killing the Guardians. He got all the rings, became sort of like Parallax, I remember. And they ended up bringing out, I think they ended up bringing out Sinestro to stop him, if I'm not mistaken. And I think this is when they brought in Cal because of Hal. Uh, and then they stopped him, and eventually he becomes the Spectre. Later on, he comes back
Yeah, yeah,
as
yeah,
Green
yeah.
Lantern
Yes,
again.
yes.
Kind of redeems himself as when he becomes Spectre. He sort of redeems himself, which I wouldn't be surprised if he dies, and in some way there he becomes the Spectre.
Yeah, I could
You
see
know?
them doing that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I thought that was a
Yeah.
hint, but I could be wrong. I don't know. It's been a minute since I've seen this.
They should definitely keep on with it, but I think that they instead of waiting every a year or every couple months for a movie so we could get a full storyline of all these characters sort of coming together, because you could tell from the artwork that they're trying to form a universe. Because in the what was it, in the Long Halloween at the end, Green Arrow and Flash knock on Bruce Wayne's door. It connects. I think they're trying to connect that universe. And then we got to see Superman, the Man of Tomorrow. You could tell it's the same artwork they've been using for even the World War movie.
Yeah, World
Uh,
War
the-
Society something.
yeah,
Just Society
and
World War II. Yeah.
yeah, so I think they're trying to like sort of form Justice League again, or try to form another universe. But I feel like they should bring another cartoon again.
Yeah, I think they might. I think they will. I mean, just the matter of announcing it. They probably are working on it. The movie was out an hour and 28 minutes, but it felt like 2 hours because of the lore. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, it was good. It like, again, compare it to Black Adam when it comes to fleshing out lore in between. It was, though, if you didn't know who Adam Strange was, you know, you in some way you will get a bit of it in the story, because he was telling his story. We didn't have to hear like, and this is what happened to me. Everybody was throwing things around. We know Green Arrow. We don't need a background story. Shaira has her own thing. It's like little, but the background story was fleshed out, and then at the end we get this twist that Green Lantern, Hal Jordan was the bad guy. You know,
Yeah.
and the crazy thing is, it felt like another movie that ended twice. We stopped Sinestro, the major problem that was he was the major problem that was starting the war. He was the bad guy, and all of a sudden we get the final boss, and it was Hal Jordan all this time.
OP Hal Jordan. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was cool because as soon as you gained that OP Hal Jordan, it felt like First Flight. Remember when he gets the whole green outfit
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
he
Yeah. Yeah.
absorbs all the
Yeah. Yeah.
energy?
Basically, yeah. Yeah, that's what it felt like again. I don't know why people are saying it's bad. Like, I just don't understand. They probably didn't read the like this thing, but it wasn't. I'm just reading it. I think it was similar to First Flight because I think that's the one where he gets, he touches the power station and he
Yeah.
gets the thing.
I
Um,
I, I thought he was gonna do that iconic smile that they drew on him when they first put him as Parallax, when he had all the rings, when he had that
oh
that
yeah, yeah,
smile.
yeah, yeah.
I thought he was gonna do that smile when he had the ring, and I was like, they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it. And they just like they didn't do it. And I was like, I'm fine with it. At least he has all the rings like on his hand. I was like, oh, that's just cool. It was like it just that scene from the comics alone, and seeing it on animated was really fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it's things are being judged harshly now, since back then I don't think not so much. But now it's social media and the Marvel movies, and the bars that were raised from the Batman films and all these things. Everybody's always expecting great quality, Academy Award winning, you know, cartoons or movies these days. And it's very hard to satisfy that fan. And sometimes we're not satisfied with what we watch, because sometimes we see like, oh my god, this dragged on for a while, or things like that. Like, I think it could have been done better, because we've seen other things, that we was like, they did this well. Like, I could see the Superman teams up with Shazam fighting Black Adam a whole bunch of times more than I could see the Black Adam, because I feel like that cartoon was done way better than the movie. And we didn't even get a lot of backstory from mostly anything in there.
Yeah.
we just know who these characters are, and they just it's like they just like threw them all together and say fight, but they gave a lot of good moments, like Clark Kent's relationship with Billy Batson. Billy Batson ended up getting the abilities. Everything happened so quick. It's like it was like let's just fast forward this entire event. We don't need to even him have to learn everything as a he'll learn everything as he fighting the most powerful you know person right now compared to him.
Yeah.
So it's I mean it's thing is it's like social media, a lot of things. I mean, I can't back then we could sit down and enjoy movies without having to worry when social media wasn't around. And we would be like, we would tell our friends, like, "Oh, did you see this? Yo, it was crazy." Now these days, it's like you have an entire paragraph about somebody who didn't like the film, and then now we get to see the reviews. Like I ran into a review about Avatar. Not it was good, but there was like it dragged, and there was they felt like James Cameron had a real big ego when filming, and some of the characters felt like the Kate Winslet coming into the character didn't say as much, but she was in the film and she's going to be part of the series eventually, and all these things. And it's like it took him this long to make the film. There's a couple more that he's popping up. There's a possibility of it being a 7-6 at some point. Who knows? Let James Cameron do the films. This is an entire original IP series that he's creating. Suck it up and deal with it. Because right now, everybody's making something out of a comic book, a book,
A
something.
reboot.
Yeah, it's
So
it's 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 how it's happening these days,
yeah.
and this is the world we live in. And no matter what, we're gonna still be watching. Man,
Well, man, I guess I mean it just took us an hour to talk about two movies that one we liked and the other one we were I don't know. Wasn't bad to see, but it was a little bit cringy at times. I don't know. I mean, all those it. You know what? You know what? A Black Adam to me had its moments, right?
yeah,
But if you play video games, you know the game Cyberpunk. Now, when that
yeah,
game came out, they said that they worked on that game for 9 years.
yeah,
Similar to Black Adam, where they worked on it since he was like what 2008, 2007, whatever, some shit, or
yeah,
maybe 2012. All that work, but yet, come on, man.
yeah.
There were so many glitches
Oh,
within Cyberpunk. There's a lot of.
it has. I don't know if you know, but Amazon Prime got the rights for God of War.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I heard about that.
They got the rights, so they might
I
do a
haven't
lot of
played it yet
action.
because I don't got the PS. I have a PS4 and I could buy it with it, but I fucked up my PS4 controller.
And what caught my attention is that they want to follow it from like through the story, like from like the first straight on through. They don't, yeah, they, which is great because it's a great story to go through. You don't have to like, oh, let's just give them an origin and let them do whatever the hell they want and figure that out. Because I feel like you know if a game is successful because of its story and its action, you know that's what we need in order for us to sit down and watch it. Because if you decide to alter certain things, it's not going to be great. And that's probably one of the things that was successful about The Witcher for fans of The Witcher, because Henry Cavill made sure he read the books. He made sure, like, this is how it should be. This is, and that it was, he was faithful to the books.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know. And then later on, some of these producers say the books weren't that great, and this, and that, and I don't know. And I don't know if Henry Cavill felt like, I'm out of here, put somebody else. Because if I want to be, loyal to the books, and you guys just want to come up with something, and that's on you. And I guess he doesn't want to be in that,
Yeah, yeah.
because then they won't probably want to listen to him anymore.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder, like, because I haven't seen The Witcher yet, but with was it Liam Hemsworth now taking the role?
Yeah.
Like, will you see the drastic change that Henry had for the character?
He was great in that, and I
And
saw the
this,
first season. He was so good. Like it was like they did a good job, and his like it was just like the way he fought and the way he moved, and he was just how he was in it. And the character is almost like he personified that character within the books. Like they did a good job.
I'm gonna see if my girl wants to see it. I mean, she likes Henry Cavill, so
No,
maybe she
yeah,
wants it.
it's great.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, I think that's all for this year, man. I mean, we still got to talk about Black Panther. Hopefully, I mean, I think it's coming to theaters. It came out in November, right? Might come to Disney Plus February,
Probably, yeah.
if I think about it, because that's what they always do. A couple months, maybe 4 or 3. Um, so we definitely have to talk about Black Panther. And then after that movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Did you see the trailer for that?
Oh yes, I can't wait.
Bro, his suit looks fire. I'm talking about Jonathan Majors, Kang.
Yeah.
Fire. I like how they made him was it green for
Not
a second?
not only is I want to see Jonathan Majors as Khan, I want to see him as the new fighter in Creed
Oh
3.
yeah, I saw that. I was
Dude
hyped.
was massive. He looked like he reminded me of like the Mr. T.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
oh, he was like the dude was huge. I was like, I can't wait to see this.
Bro, Creed was amazing. Creed 2 was great. I think Creed is still outbeat too, I think. Wait, was Creed? Did Rocky have cancer in the first one or the second one?
It was, I believe it was the second one.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, he didn't come back to this one.
No, was it?
I'm pretty sure it was the first one, wasn't it?
It was the first one. Yeah, it was the first one. The second one, he fights the Russian, and they get
Oh
to
yeah,
meet Drago. Yeah.
Dragon. But yeah. He didn't come back for this one.
No,
It was
I think
the
he's sort of
director's
saying that it.
problem or something like that, or the writer's problem. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
But he
he's
wants to
kind of
come
saying
back if
goodbye.
no, because he said he'll come back if that guy's not part of it. If it's just him and Michael.
Yeah, Sylvester Stallone's pretty sensitive about his because when they even said that they were going to do a Drago, he was like, "What? He's using my IP? No." Always like cut ties with freaking Dolph Lundgren, and because there was some thoughts about some ideas of bringing Drago to be one of the next characters, and I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but this guy is a bit lunatic and too, you know,
Too hands on, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's he needs to lighten up and let things be. You know, like I think that those are his characters. Like Rambo and Rocky as his characters. You know, they did a successful job by bringing in Creed. So thinking about it, it's like he's leaving it. You know, he's not going to be in part 3. So it's like, what is he
Yeah.
doesn't need to. He doesn't have to complain about that because it's now it's a separate movie on its own.
Agreed. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Well, anyways, with that being said, I think we should end it right here. You can find us on Twitter, at Facebook, on YouTube, Geek Mythos, also Instagram, Geek Mythos, and TikTok, Geek Mythos. Posting, well, I'm trying to post, 2 times a week on TikTok and YouTube. But since the holidays are here, I'll probably post another 4 for the remainder of the year. It just takes time. I'm adding a little more folly to my to the videos. I actually added one for today's, which is I have to go back to the series and finish it, which is DC versus Vampires Part 5. Which I added a little folly. Hopefully it adds to the
You know
storytelling.
what? Damn, I'm cutting you off. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, keep going. Go. No, because I was talking about we never did the. never looked back looking at to do Deceased.
Oh yeah. I
That
gotta finish.
and
Yeah, I gotta start doing that. Yeah. Let me finish the DC versus vampires, and we'll start doing that. I mean, you can start writing for Deceased. Go ahead. Definitely, I'm not gonna stop you there. I need help because even with the artist, I'm running out of things to say that's coming out of my mind that's
yeah,
not sounding repetitive. Because it's not that every artist is repetitive and they have their own style, but it's also like, how much can you say without sounding not boring, but repetitive again and again? You
yeah,
know,
no, I believe, yeah,
you could
I
only say
understand.
stylish so many times in a video, and then when you hear it constantly, you're gonna shoot your brains out.
Mm. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, I mean, oh, and a little thing, here's a shout out to a friend of mine. I think he's going by Russian. Hold up, hold on. I got you. But I made a little cameo within his YouTube series, which he does. Oh wait, I did the wrong thing. Hold up. No. Russian comics. Comic book. Let me see this. His name is the Russian comic book geek, right? And he does a lot of the motion comics that he does, voice acting. He has a lot of other voice actors. So I did a little cameo and was one of the talons or a couple talons in his Court of the Owls motion comics. So it's still
Nice.
being released. He's still working on it. So, give him time, because it takes a long time. He does a lot of the editing, audio stuff, and also the moving and all that. A lot of foley that goes into it that he actually works on. That's really cool because when you hear it and you're watching it, you're like, how the hell did he get all this time in? Like the leather, the fighting, the freaking echo, everything, bro. The car being turned on, the Batmobile, all that stuff. Like you don't think about it when it's storytelling,
Yeah,
especially when you're not actually doing the live action. You're just doing the motion for the comic
yeah.
itself. It's beautiful. It's amazing. So, and he's good. He's great on it. He's really working his ass off for that. It's his little thing too. But yeah, I made a little cameo and shout out to him. Go follow him on YouTube. He's the Russian comic book geek. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. And that's all. I'm trying to finish DC versus Vampires, hopefully by the end of the year. So I think it has 10 or 12 issues.
I think it's is it 10?
What was the limited series?
I
Hold
think
on.
it's 12. It's limited
12.
series. I think it's 12. It's almost done.
Film is done. Hopefully.
Hmm.
Oh, well, I just did part 5, so we're not gonna finish it this year. We'll probably finish it by before February, hopefully.
Yeah, but
Um,
but there's also the DC versus Vampires All Out War. There's a side story to that too. I think it's only 5 issues though.
okay,
I
okay, okay.
think.
So
I
we'll
think it's
work
only
on that
5.
afterward. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we're slowly starting. I'm getting the ball rolling. Yeah, just a little bit more time, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Well, with that being said, have a good night, guys, and well, yeah, see you. Peace.
See you guys. Good night.